From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good evening and welcome to Ask the Attorney. I'm your host, Amy Rao Mohan, and glad to be here today with Kevin Kennedy from Clarksville.
Good to be back with you.
I know, it's good to be back. I've been on maternity leave, and I missed hosting this show. It's always a good time.
Having you with you. It's always a lot of fun with you.
And I know in the past 4 months you've answered lots of legal questions.
We've had a bunch over the last 4 months. Nick did a good job while you were out, and the baby's doing great.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for you. That's why you really work all the time, and our viewing audience, same thing for your family, and it makes a difference. So it's a good time to listen tonight, maybe get some questions in and get a lot of information. Knowledge is power, and whatever you learn, you can share it with your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, and share it right along.
And it's been a while, so just to kind of refresh people's memories, Kevin, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I'm a lawyer now for 31 years in the Kennedy Law Firm there in Clarksville. We have 3 locations, and we do a little bit of everything. Every day is a new challenge, from civil work to criminal work. We do lots of car wrecks. We do lots of criminal. We do a lot of civil, divorces. We have a gentleman that's at the office, and now, you know, basically we have guys there that just about know everything about these specific areas. And so I know a lot about quite a few areas. 31 years, you're going to learn, trial and error. And we have a diverse team. You know, we've got a bunch of young lawyers. I think I've hired like 5 young lawyers this year. And then we have some experienced lawyers. We have a guy that does bankruptcies all the time, and so that is really something that's facing lots and lots of people. Pre-bankruptcy, post-bankruptcy, what do we do in the middle of a bankruptcy? And there's 10 million questions, and so the more you ask, the more you know. Now we have the parenting plans on all kinds of domestic cases, and we've said over the years, knowing just a little bit of law is dangerous, because you think, well, I know this is the law, which is true, but what you didn't know were all the exceptions to that law.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons they call it the practice of law. And I still like to talk to lawyers. I remember when I was in the law school, I used to see these judges and lawyers, and I was just spellbound because they were so smart.
Yeah.
I still believe they're smart. Now, a 31-year lawyer, I see, well, are those guys really that smart? Because, you know, after I've been in there, but I guess to some degree, your experience will protect you. And so I'm asked a lot of times, Kevin, what would you hire in a lawyer? And they said, would you hire one with a lot of experience and no time? Hire one with a lot of time and no experience? And I said, I'd hire the lawyer that you could trust. And then you and he can work through it.
Yeah, you need that good relationship.
We need that relationship, the power of relationships.
And so Kevin can answer so many of your questions, so please call whether you've got civil or criminal questions, family law, divorce. You know, we should be able to answer most of those questions. I was a reporter here at Channel 5 for several years.
I remember you. That's where I first saw you on the TV.
And then went to law school, and so now I've been practicing for a couple years. I'm at Sherrard and Rowe doing mostly civil litigation and some crisis management, so we should be able to get in all of those questions today.
Yes, we can hit them.
And 737+ is the number. It's at the bottom of your screen, 737-7587. And keep those questions coming. We've already got some of these phone lines lit up, so we're going to start with Jay here on number 1. Hi, Jay.
Hey, thanks for taking my call tonight.
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy, I always enjoy when you're on.
Thank you.
I learn a lot. So.
Thank you. I'm glad to share.
I was just wondering, as a matter of fact, it's fun you're on, because tonight I got rear-ended in my brand new truck I've had 2 weeks.
Whoa.
The person that hit me, of course, I took plenty of pictures with my phone.
Good.
Got good insurance. And the person that hit me does not have insurance, come to find out. And I've got a police report. I've never been hit by anybody with no insurance. What do I need to do? If you can give me some information, thanks.
Gotcha. First thing, you need to go contact your insurance company and see if you have uninsured motorist coverage. Usually, if you have full coverage, it'll have a provision in there that would give you uninsured motorist coverage for this very situation. When the economy goes bad, I hope everyone's listening carefully, check your policy. If you don't have uninsured motorist coverage, it's very inexpensive. Add that to your policy. So And if you don't have the uninsured motorist, then what you may have to do is go to your comprehensive coverage, and you call them, notify them. They're going to have you go and get an appraisal on the damage done on your car. And so then you'll get your appraisals, and your insurance would pay for it. There may be a deductible, and your insurance company will then go sue this person that ran in the back end of you, probably get a judgment, may garnish their wages. And if he doesn't satisfy that judgment, the state will take his driver's license and also can take some other license. So it's a problem. It's
good information because a lot of people run into that issue.
Keep your insurance. We don't sell insurance, but insurance is a good investment. And so I strongly tell you to recommend it. If you don't have it and you need it, you'll really wish you did have it.
All right, we've got Reverend Fuzz here on line 3. Thanks for calling in today, Reverend.
Hi there.
Hi.
I have 2 different questions.
Okay.
One of them involves one particular lady who had been made a $5,000 loan 15 years ago and was paying like $100 a month.
Okay.
And at the end of this 15 years, she still owes $5,000.
Okay.
So she's been trying to work through that. Is there a way that she could maybe kind of settle that with that company? You know, just imagine how much she's paid in 15 years at $100 a month.
Yes.
And then my second case of people who come to me, this involves 2 different people, but it's the same thing. These are juveniles. One little kid was arrested for loitering, and the other kid was put out of school for something. But they were both charged and have to go to juvenile court. Right? But what the courts will do is the police will send you a letter, and I saw one of those letters today saying, we're dropping the charges, your child's not going to be charged with this, and it's going to be dismissed, and you don't have to go to court. But, you know, you have this family who's very upset because they don't think that their child did anything in the first place. They want their day in court, and they feel like the police is being disingenuous. By now you're saying, we told you my child didn't do anything, and now you're telling me I don't have to go to court. I'm going to court anyway, and I have to tell them, well, you're not on the docket. So what would you say to those?
Okay, here we go.
That's interesting. You know, you've got people who aren't happy about a dismissal necessarily.
Yes, and I've seen that. The first question, can the person contact this company and try to negotiate a settlement? Yes, remember this, everything is negotiable. And so you have a right. What you should do first is find the original loan document, examine it. Again, that could have a usury involved on the interest rate, and you might go back and say that document was void or voidable. It's an argument. A lawyer can look at it and say, here's some clauses that they haven't fulfilled. And then, of course, you just need to go down to the plain math and add up the math and see if it matches what you should have gotten. But yes, pursue that. Number 2, we have a situation where the people said, this is not fair. Our children have been charged. It's been agony on our family. He hasn't been able to sleep. He hasn't been able to eat. It's so embarrassing. We got letters from everybody in the church, from the Boy Scout League, to say, and now y'all come forward and say we're going to dismiss it. Do they have a right to do that? Yes. And see, I've had some jury trials over the years where the DA would charge, and we're going to set it for a jury trial. So then I have to go and prepare all the way. One of the greatest cases I remember, and I knew I was going to take them. I've won like 11 jury trials in a row, multiple counts. This one, I knew when I had a winner, and I felt good about it. And so today's the morning of the trial. We go in there, and the district attorney stood up and said, state dismisses the case. Wow. Took the steam out, and I said, well, okay, I still hold that same closing argument. I never got to use the closing argument that I had on that, but again, what can we do? We wanted a dismissal, we got the dismissal. But you see, that's where a creative lawyer will come in. So hire your lawyer, make preparation like we're going to trial. If he gets it dismissed without a fight, that's just like we go to battle and they surrender, then we still conquer.
And is there any, I guess, recourse that they have
what I might do
of that false
yes,
charge?
I might file me a complaint with the police chief. I might file a complaint if it's at the district attorney's office. Go talk to the district attorney himself. And yes, there's some civil liabilities for malicious prosecution.
Right.
You know, if you falsely prosecuted me at the last minute and said, okay, I'm dismissing it. Okay, you can dismiss it, but we're going to sue you.
Okay. Well, interesting, and we've got many more calls and many more questions to answer, so please keep those calls coming at 737-plus, 737-7587, and we'll be back in a few minutes with Kevin Kennedy.